I want to get to the big thing that Ryan Day said yesterday. Now, I listened to you last night talk about this, and you didn't seem. Let me tell everybody what happened here. I wish I had it to play. I didn't load it up. So Ryan Day was talking about Austin Sierreveld playing tackle, and then slipped in left tackle, and it sounded like he made an error and was asked to clarify, and he said, no, left tackle, which is obviously like, hold on, what? A lot of questions here from that, but he went on to talk about, he talked to Mick, talked to Tyler Bowen, talked about the measurables, and does he have everything needed to play tackle? But he was speaking of left tackle. Well, this brings up a lot of questions. Ethan Onyanwa, obviously a massive transfer brought in here, very expensive transfer, a guy that everybody wanted to be the left tackle. Austin Sierreveld, we've seen his trajectory just go up and up and up. And when it was in the spring, he was taking that right tackle position. It looked like everybody's looking at this like, is this really what this is going to be? Certainly seems like so. Pretty impressive stuff. Wins the Iron Buckeye for the second time. Like, the guy, I think, deserves a captaincy at this point. But now he's talking about left tackle. And this just blew me out of the water, Tony. You didn't like, what are you thinking here?
Well, the funny thing is we had a regular on our board mention this before fall camp started, because he said, look for Austin Sierreveld at left tackle and Ethan Onyanwa at right tackle. And so first 3 days we did. And it's like, no, it's Austin Sierreveld at right tackle and Ethan Onyanwa at left tackle. And so, yeah, this came kind of out of the blue from Ryan Day. And yet, they've moved around. We've seen Austin Sierreveld at left tackle last year in camp. He played everywhere, frankly, in camp. When they were injured, he'd be at left tackle for one snap and left guard the next, and just be moving around doing double work. But it's interesting. I don't know if it's settled, because they're trying to figure out what all of these guys can do. They want to know, okay, if something does happen to left tackle, can Austin handle that? Or maybe were they looking to see if something does happen to left tackle, can Ethan handle that? So now they're getting information on both of those guys. So I don't know. I do know they're still in the information gathering phase right now. And then whatever happens with that information, they'll place those guys. I will say Onyanwa played right tackle all but last year at Rice. So he played right tackle against Texas in 2023. Right. So he played pretty well. So that's not no big thing for him. I think it's interesting, certainly. And, I think everybody maybe doubted Austin Sierreveld early, because, you're redshirt freshman. You're not supposed to be playing at this point, especially some of these, 3-star kids or whatever. And, Ohioans, where it's like, clearly we'll see you in year 4, buck up, young kid. And the way he turned it on last year during the illness, when the room was decimated, and he just took all of the snaps and got better. And then it's like, now he's a really good player. And at the end of the spring, Ryan Day said, I don't know who my starting 5 is. Austin's going to be in there. So we'll see. I don't think it's set left tackle, right tackle. I think it's too early, but would I be shocked now if he's at left tackle? No, because he's practicing there.
Really impressive stuff, man, watching his rise. It's really been impressive. But aside from those starters, who I think outside of Onyanwa and Austin, you got Carson, Luke, and Tegra. I think that's what we kind of all expect right now. If it didn't end up that way, it'd be pretty surprising. But outside of those guys, when we look at just the offensive line and the personnel all throughout the room, I was going through the other day, Justin Fry's recruits the other day, and Austin Sierreveld was one. Luke Montgomery, Josh Padilla, Ian Moore, Gabe Van Sickle, Jake Cook, Javon McFadden, Carter Lowe. Like, the only guys that don't appear ahead of schedule, and this isn't a bad thing, are the Armstrong twins. Those are the only guys that don't appear ahead of schedule. A crazy high hit rate. And what blew me away over the weekend was watching even Javon McFadden, a true freshman in one-on-one reps, just stonewall Caden McDonald, our stud defensive tackle. I am so impressed now at the depth of this room. And I not like, there was no way that I thought I would be thinking that at this point in the year.
Well, and Gabe Van Sickle, I was told a story last year. He was a June enrollee last year. And so, like, during summer workouts, he went like they were pushing something or pulling something, and he went running and passing by some of the veterans, and there was like just a whooshing going past as he was pushing this sled or whatever. And it's like, who in the heck is that guy? And it's like, that's Gabe Van Sickle, and he's going to redshirt, but we'll see what he does as a redshirt freshman. And he's, with the twos at right guard. I think Jake Cook is maybe the story of all of this, true freshman being the number 2 left guard. And he might be the next Austin Sierraveld in terms of who is this guy? Why is he doing so well? Pat Elfline type of thing. You give a guy an opportunity, and then they make the most of it, and then they never give it back. And I think I mentioned this with Tom Orr on one of our shows that just recently, this is the earliest and best and most solidified top 10 offensive line that I can remember at Ohio State, because I think the top 10, and then it's just a matter of, can somebody push in front of them or get in there? Because Ian Moore at left tackle, Phillip Daniels at right tackle, Jake Cook, Gabe Van Sickle, and then Josh Padilla at center. Like that's your 10 right there. Those are all of your backups. And Day said it this past week. He feels pretty good about 8, 9, and 10 maybe getting some time this year.
It's pretty ridiculous, man. Looking back just in 2023, heading into the season, I remember thinking like it is going to be years before they're able to turn this around. Things looked really, really bleak at that point. And then you win a national championship in 24, in much part thanks to that depth stepping up. And you enter into 2025 looking like you just said, one of the best you've seen in a long, long time, which is just really cool. Now looking at this class of 2026, heading into it, I was thinking, all right, listen, you want 6 offensive linemen in this class, but if you get 5, that'd be okay. Well, sitting at 4, and now that we've seen Jake Cook and Carter Lowe and Javon McFadden, looks like they're all going to hit. I'm not nearly as concerned with bringing in 5 or 6 at this point. I'd be okay with 4 because I really like the 4. A little bit of a scare yesterday for those who hadn't seen. Ohio State commit Aaron Thomas on 3 tweeted was visiting Florida State. Aaron said that's cap. I talked to Aaron today. He said his parents, obviously, they both went to Florida State, which we talked about a lot during his recruitment. And they just go to games throughout the year. He's like, I'm not even going now. So it wasn't a recruiting visit at all. Somebody caught wind of that. On 3 tweeted it to drum up some stuff. But those 4 certainly seem solidified. And boy, I really like those 4. So now I feel pretty comfortable with that. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I meand you've got Justin Terry transferring over from West Virginia as a redshirt freshman. So like you can always backfill with that. So I think it's fine. We'll see what the development is, and I love the way they do their coaching, the offensive line coaching staff with 3 legit offensive line coaches that can really spend some time with the guys, and that's only going to help the development.
Being able to pull that off, like that is just flexing Ohio State muscle right there. Those are high level coaches, man. That